My voice is now coming through. I'm back post-COVID, as I was saying. Really knocked my proverbial socks off. I was really hoping I was going to be one of those people that had like no symptoms. They're just like, oh yeah, it's fine. No. I was off work for a week, and I'm still like super tired, so we'll see how we go today. Might turn the music down a little bit. That's probably better. But yeah, I'm back, sort of. And today we've got some pretty exciting changes to make. I've been trying to like hold back and not make the changes so I can do the stream and do it like all in one go. But yeah, let's do it. Let's go to the next scene. So last time we made some changes to grading. I can never find it. The curve grader. Grade curve. And I just wanted to change something about that. So when it asks for a grade at first, it doesn't mention anything about being able to enter a height instead. So the obvious thing there is or enter for height. Or enter for height. Enter grade ratio number. Or enter for height. Yeah. I think that's probably about right, I think. Part of what I like about creating these tools is kind of trying to think about the user and understanding like, okay, they're entering blind to this tool. I don't want to present them with anything that is confusing or misleading, especially because these are like professional tools, right? You want them to be you want them to do what they say they do. And that's a part of the reason why these are open source, because professionals need to know what they're doing, really, and what liability they're placing. So I don't want people to put the entirety of their faith in me. I want them to look at the code and understand, like, okay, this is what this is doing. I mean, I could rant about open source for ages, but like, in terms of education, like, anyone can go in and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's how I do that, and then, you know, either take the code or implement it in their own way. So the other thing, I mean, that was a very small thing. The other thing I wanted to do today is so I've been implementing these these dynamic drawer functions, which I've been starting to use them in my own work, and it is actually really useful. But one that is missing is the calculate grade, so I want that to happen dynamically as well. And I think basically that would be the same animation as this, except the hypotenuse? Is that right? Is that the word for the longest line on the triangle? That will show the grade instead of these lengths and heights. And there's probably an argument there that well, do you just like combine all of these into one like measurement stick? My first feeling is yes, but then I'm like, well, when you click, it is actually copying the height specifically to your clipboard. So I feel like, no, I'll just keep them separate for now. But yeah, let's get the calculate grade to show the same kind of animation except with the grade. And then I'll probably issue a new revision. I'll probably do that off camera because I don't know if there's like security risks in like showing that process. I don't think so, because it uses like your Rhino account and things, and that's already logged in, but I'll do it off camera anyway. Hopefully I'm not too nasally. I'm quite still bunged up. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since I tested positive for COVID, but I am triple vaxxed, and it's like still hardcore cold or flu. Yeah, definitely. If you've not been vaccinated, fuck, just get vaccinated, because it is a horrible flu. And like the side effects of it, like the side effects of COVID, not the vaccines. Like, I'm so tired. I'm getting through like half a day, and then I'm like, I gotta go to bed. So I'm hoping those side effects will die down, but man, not cool. It is the first time I've gotten COVID, actually. I think there's like a bit of a second wave going on in Australia. Second or like 50th wave, something like this. Yeah, let's look at doing that calc grade. So to add in the dynamic drawer, I sort of have to intercept the get point function. So in Python, you have, I mentioned this last time, but you have Rhino script syntax, which I largely used at the start of my coding career because it simplifies a lot of things. But I think what this means, and this is probably a good example of what using Rhino script syntax against using like Rhino comment. You can't intercept between this command. This will run a command and you can't intercept between them, so you can't do this kind of dynamic draw function within Rhino. So to do that, you have to go into Rhino comment, construct the get point class, and then construct the the event. I'm trying to use the proper words. I've started to learn C# and it really makes me wish not to code in C#. But I think to like to create Grasshopper plugins, I pretty much have to, is my understanding. Pain in the butt. But it's good because it is something called a strongly typed language, which means like for each variable you have to either be like var is like the general declaration, or like for this, actually I don't know what this would be. This would be like a get point object or something. which you don't have to do in Python. Python just treats everything as rich objects, so you don't have to do any of this declaration or conversion or anything. Everything can be anything, which simplifies everything, but also makes everything slower, obviously, because the computer has to kind of deal with that. Anyway, sorry, going off track. But yeah, that's something I'm doing in the background because I'm developing some really cool scripts. Hopefully, once I get over the differences between Python and C#. And it's not even the differences between Python and C#. It's like the differences between using Rhino command in Python versus using it in C#, because it's actually quite different. Yeah. Anyway, so the problem we have at first is that basically I'm using the wrong way to get a point at the moment. So if we look at the measure, where's measure? What did I call it? Calculate height. Oh, height. So if we look at this, basically, yeah, so instead of going rs get point, we have to create the get point object or class. Then we say, okay, get the point, and that'll tell you to like click. And then between the first and second click, which happens here, that's the second click, it activates an event. So we need to set that up, which is fine. We just have to make sure that we understand what the current one is doing. So let's separate that. And basically we need to separate the code into two events. Like, one is the event code, and then the rest is like, what do we do once that second click is made. So for this, it's quite simple because we've already got the code. I just need to make sure. Let's just dump this in to here. So let's just make a comment. Get first point. And get first point. So, okay, we've got some things that I've not defined. So let's just, what's not defined? Rhino input. Let's import that. RC, which is rhino.commands. And that's just complaining that we haven't created the function to call there. So that's fine. We'll create that in the section in a second. Sorry. I was debating whether I should do the stream today, but I think, just got to get back to normal, you just got to soldier on. Okay, so this whole block is basically trying to just handle the event function, and then once that event function ends with the second point at gp.get, it'll run this code, and it's just asking like, was the result a success? If it was, then the second point is this. We can actually delete that out. We will want to do the clipboard thing. But this is where we would put put the existing code basically. So this stuff down here we'll probably place in here. Yeah, then we just got else statement. So if we don't get the second point, it just leaves the code and prints this to the command. And this is catching that first point. So if someone presses escape or something, that's what will come out. We'll just comment this out for now. And yeah, so just for simplicity, because I've already used this 0.1 instead of 0.01 as the command, so I'm going to make those variables the same so that I don't have to change anything in the rest of the code. And I'm just going to... That's how you do it. And I'm just going to comment those out. Yep, so we've already got scaling. So the next thing we want to do is just bring in this definition, the get point dynamic draw function. So this is the animation, basically. This oops, this thing. That's that animation there. Yeah, and I'm just gonna bring in these colors. So first, I'm just going to colors. That's the English spelling of colors, by the way, if you're watching for America. If you're not American, one of the biggest pain points as a child growing up outside America speaking English is that, like, when you're writing in Word or whatever software program that's obviously developed in America, it always gets angry because you're not spelling in American. And it always felt very passive aggressive. And it, like, no matter how hard you tried to change it to like English or Australian English, it would always default back to American English. And you'd always get like sorry, I think I'm a little bit loud. You'd always get like, I'm still really loud. Is that better? Okay, let's try that. Well, still loud. Let me just listen to myself. Hello? Hello? Yeah, that sounds all right. Yeah, so maybe just force this down a bit. There we go. I think that's better. Okay. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. You'd always get comments from your teacher being like, this is the American version of whatever. And I was just like, fuck. Microsoft Word. Yeah. So that's a little story for you Americans out there. Okay. And no, not to this day. I think I've gotten over my Americanized spelling of things. Okay, so we're just defining colors, and what those do is when you calculate the height, it needs to know what colors to apply to the different lines. And obviously these are my branded colors, I guess. So that's just a little bit of fun. And then this is the definition here. So we're just going to wholesale paste these in, and it's going to get angry again. What is RG? Rhino geometry. And yeah, so it's we can delete all of this because, well, no, because effectively we want the same animation, so we're not going to do that. But are we? Yeah, so we're defining point 1 before this command initializes, so that's fine. Okay, it's not angry anymore, that's good. So steps that are happening is going construct get point, and then it's saying, okay, now initialize that get point. You click on the screen, and then if successful, create this variable, attach the point to that point, and then start the function. So, or the event, sorry. So this is that event here, and basically most of the work is pretty much done. So this is constructing the geometry that we want to draw to the screen. So that's just the current point of the cursor. I don't really remember what I did for projected point or why that. I think that's because it needs to be a triangle from the second point. It has 3 lines to make the triangle, and then we have the circle, and then this is probably just for different. This is for placing the dot in the middle of those lines. So those we actually don't. Well, the first one we don't want, but this one we want to be line 3. Wait, what was the other one? No, so the first one will be line 1. So that will be the hypotenuse. Let's Google hypotenuse, eh? Hypotenuse? Yeah, I was right. Hypotenuse. High school maths. Yeah, I was not good at high school maths or any maths ever, so bear with me. I've got the internet to tell me what's what. So we just need to find the midpoint of the hypotenuse, and that's only to put. So if we look at the first one again, you see those Rhino calls them dots, but let's just say they're like text tags. They're shifting to be in the middle of those lines, and that's all that calculation is doing. So 0.5 is the parameter of that line. So parameters are generally 0 to 1. Sometimes they can be the full length. In Grasshopper, you can use something called reparameterize, or in Rhino Common they call it normalize, and that just switches back the curve parameters to 0 to 1, which is 0.5 is the center of a line. Drinking Barocca, by the way. I've actually found that it gets rid of some of the brain fog that I've been experiencing. Yeah, and then we've just got a circle for some flair. So this calculation here, height, length, that is not something we need. So inside this little section, we just need the calculate grade instead. So we're just gonna get rid of that. That's probably gonna get angry. Yep. So yeah, the draw dot. So we don't need the second draw dot because we're only gonna have one. And that is going to be midpoint 1, and that is going to be the grade. So let's just call that grade. Have I already defined grade? Probably. And then just go grade equals, and then we don't know what we're going to put there quite yet. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's basically cleaned up. So now we can put in the logic. So all of that was just boilerplate to basically build the animation. And hopefully it makes sense. So like, this is constructing the geometry. So you have your triangle, like triangles 3 lines, line 1, line 2, line 3. Then we also have a circle. And then once we've constructed those geometries, they don't really exist within Rhino, they're just kind of objects, right? Then we have the arguments to display that or send that to the kind of screen. So Rhino has a virtual overlay, which we're displaying to, so that these lines will always display on top of whatever's inside the model. I'm just gonna be right back. I just need to blow my nose. Bear with me. Hang on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, and then, you're just drawing each element to the screen. It's pretty straightforward. But to draw the right grade to the screen, obviously we need to get the logic to do that. And hooray, we already have the logic. I actually had a lot of issues with writing the code for this because I don't know, there was some weird edge cases where it was incorrect. And obviously like there's possibilities for zero division errors. So obviously, well, not obviously, but you can't divide by 0. So if someone like tries to calculate the grade of a flat plane, that's dividing by 0, and that would crash the program. So we have a exception here that basically if it says try run divided by rise, if that is 0 divided by 0, it will catch it, because in Python there's a exception that's specifically for that scenario. Yeah, so it just goes no grade found, instead of crashing. So all of this stuff is necessary, I'm pretty sure. So this is, we don't care about this, which is the stuff that puts a dot on the screen. Oh yeah. So find the rise of given points in any order. Oh yeah, so there was some issues where like if someone was like do this or that or this and that. So if you didn't quite get what the difference between that is that the order of those clicks is kind of important, because either the first one is going to be the highest point or the second one's going to be the highest point, and we need to be able to kind of differentiate. So we have some code here that basically says, I mean, that doesn't need to be elif, just else. No, I'll just leave it like that. It just checks whether the first one is bigger than the second point or the second point is bigger than the first point. And then that gives the right rise. So yeah, we need all of this. Find the run of given points. Okay, that's doing some math. I can't quite remember what... Does that mean to the power of 2? I think that means the power of 2 within Python. Rise equals rise times scale. Okay, and then I'm just scaling to the model units. So do I? Okay, yeah, I have... This is a recent scaling function that I created, which when I started coding, I had hard-coded a dictionary, but I didn't realize Rhino actually comes within the library. It comes with already hard-coded scaling between units, so using this function I can actually scale between any scale that Rhino has, which is really good. Okay, so then we're just scaling, and then we're trying to do grade equals run divided by rise, and then do I do any... Yeah, so that's just finding the midpoint. This is so funny. When you look back at your old code, you're just like, silly man. The reason I'm laughing at that is because I'm adding a literal curve to the document and then deleting the curve just to find the midpoint. You don't have to do that. So I might fix that. So am I doing anything special to the output? Grade equals 1 divided by grade times 100. Why am I doing that? I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah, so I'm using an absolute there. Absolute returns the positive number. And you can do the opposite of that by going negative absolute, I think. And then I'm rounding to 3 decimal places, I think that might mean. Let me see. No, I'm rounding to 2 decimal places. I just thought it might be 3 because you never really know if you're counting from 0 or from 1. Sorry. I am phlegmy. Okay, so let's just do it and see what mischief we get into. Because there's some things I don't quite understand, like why are we doing this? And this is why you write comments. Because like even if you've written the code, you definitely will not remember why you did certain things. I tried to be fairly diligent, but there's always stuff that is like, oh shit, why did I not do that? So we don't need that. I shouldn't use. What am I using that for? I'm using that to find the run. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be a few things we're going to have to change. It's always a bit scary copying pasting large chunks of code. You don't know like how much chaos you're going to create. Chaos. Okay. We are unexpectedly indented. That's better. Actually, that's one thing I've really enjoyed about C# over Python. As C# uses open and close curly brackets to denote like code blocks, whereas Python uses tab spaces, which are these little colored things. So a tab is obviously when you hit tab, you have a tab space, and it uses those to define like little blocks, which actually are found to be easier to handle and read than the tab spacing in Python. So that's one thing in C# that I've actually thought was a bit better. Okay. So we've dumped all of this code in here. So we're finding out the hypotenuse, but what's that? That's going to have to be 0.1, and then the current point, because when this runs, we won't have the second point yet because the user hasn't clicked the button yet. the current point is the second point, basically. It's where the cursor is currently. So that's giving us the distance. If point1.z, point2.z, okay. So this is something we're going to have to change as well. We definitely don't want that. I don't think we need that check. If point1.z is greater than, yeah, okay, so that's fine. We can keep, but we need to change that to current point. Hopefully that has the property of the z value. Then we're finding the run. So run equals M is just shorthand for math. So that's like a default Python library, which just has a lot of kind of like math functions. So square root or square root. So run is hypotenuse to the power of 2 minus rise to the power of 2. So then we are just scaling to the document scale, and then we're going to try and create the grade. And if I don't know if we need this for this situation, so I may crash, but let's just, how do I do, okay. Just don't want to spam that to the we'll see how it goes. I think this event has inbuilt failure, like error catching from my past experience using it, so we'll just not use that for now and see how it goes. Or if it crashes the program, then we know that we need something. Cool. So then, yeah, we're printing grade. Let's just save that and run it. Oh. You cannot connect to Reno still? Oh, it is connecting. What's wrong? Line 78. Unexpected token args. Yeah, let's. We have to get rid of this. Okay, so when I said it has like error handling, I mean because whenever I've bugged something up, it just doesn't display anything at all, and that kind of describes probably there's some inbuilt error handling into the way Rhino does these display functions. So in this case, there's nothing being drawn to the screen, which makes me feel like something is wrong. And this also makes it very hard to actually find out what's wrong. Because there's no error like is given. So let's just use our brains and try and find out what's wrong. So I don't think we need this projected point anymore. Although it does seem to be used. Oh no, we do. Because that's used just for the construction of the triangle. So I wonder if it's that. Can I go print type current point? Yeah, okay. So I was just checking that current point is actually a point 3D object, which it is, because I'm trying to find the z value of that object, and I can only do that if it actually is an object like that. That's fine. So I guess we just have to go through and see. Is that spelled wrong? No. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. It seems to be working in the negative. Okay, well, that's a clue. That kind of tells me maybe something's wrong. With this. It only works in the negative. Why is that? Let's have a look inside here. Looks okay. Yeah. So all this is doing is trying to avoid creating negatives. So that seems okay. So that doesn't seem to be the reason why. Let's just have a look at the run. That looks good as well. Well, let's I didn't put the cursor in the negative there, and it didn't print anything. Okay. So it's not okay. So I think let's go back to here. Yeah. For some reason, it's not ever activating the second. So angry. Again, Rhino uses Python 2.7 and not Python 3. So in Python 2, you don't have to put brackets around your print statements. So that's why that's giving me that kind of weird error. So what is going on? So point1.z larger than current point.z. Less than. So which one is it not doing? I could probably work this out mathematically, but I'm lazy. Okay, it's the second one. All right. This guy, which makes sense. I think. So let's go print point one. Print point one. Print current point. Let's see what it is actually saying. So we'll go up in the direction that's not working. The first one should be 4.1. Why is it the exact same? What is that? The heck? Do I have any other print commands running? Oh, yes, I do. That's the rise. Let's move this guy before that thing is run. So put him there. So he'll be the plus first point. I don't actually know if this will work. Yeah. So that needs to be a string. Nope. Why is this angry? Statements must be separated by. Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to like put a note in the printout which one actually is the first point and which one's not. But what I'm confused about is that. Oh no, that makes sense. So like, gotta think in computer time, right? So when I click that, the first and second point are basically in the exact same spot. But then it moves. So what's wrong with that though? Like why is that any different to this? Really is no difference. So why is that failing? Well, it's failing because for some reason this statement isn't picking anything up. Like if we go print foo. Oh, no, it is. It is printing foo. Print apple. Apple foo. Apple foo. No, that is working. Rise. And let's just get rid of. Does everything end up being way more difficult than it needs to be? Where am I? I can't even remember. Where's... Where am I? Ah, here. Let's just get rid of this print. Yep, that's printing. That's also printing. Yeah, get rid of that. Yep. That's not... There's something wrong with because that's something wrong with the rise, because it's not printing, or it's not generating anything in that second. And it's funny that it works with, like, the animation works with the one that doesn't work. Wait. Okay. Oh, okay. Ugh. So this is the negative direction. Rent rise. Whoop. Rent rise. This is the positive direction. Yeah, so this is the one that's not working. So that's whenever I try and do a positive, it's not finding a positive. But it, like, that function is working, it's this function in particular. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I'm such a ding dong. Such a ding dong. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Okay. So what happened there was that I was not reading the code and just faffing around. So yeah, I was just calling on the wrong variables. But yeah, that works now. Thank God. That had me stumped, but obviously it was a very silly thing to be stumped on. Yeah, okay. We've got our animation. Hallelujah. Great. Just tidy this up a bit. Okay. So find the run of given points. Yep. That should all be working. Let's see what's coming out of grade. Huge numbers. So this is why we round the number up to the first 2 decimal places. Also, probably negative numbers. Nope. I wonder why I did absolute then. No, there won't be any negative numbers because I'm catching them. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we just want to do a little I wonder if it has to be a string. Oh well, we'll find out. So we just want to do whatever I've done here, which is, I mean, why am I doing that? That's 1 divided by grade times 100. Oh, that's for imperial. Yeah, man, I wish I had noted what I did there. Why? Yeah, we need to catch. We need to catch it if it's imperial. Oh. Yeah, okay, so for imperial, I basically change it from a ratio to a percentage. Instead of using a ratio. Actually, if you're American and you're watching this, what is your preferred grading description? Do you use ratios or do you use percentages? Because here generally we use a ratio. Sometimes engineers might use a percentage, but landscape architects generally use a ratio because it's sort of a better description. And it's also what's used in like DDA standards and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know. I need to find an American friend, an American landscape architect to bounce some questions off of. Okay, so this slightly complicates things. Oh, not really, but we just have to put some more checks in. In which case, I'm actually just going to copy this wholesale and bring it up into our event function. And we just want it to be here. So if imperial is true, if imperial is true, grade equals 1 divided by grade times 100, which I'm assuming is the calculation needed to transfer between a ratio and a percentage. So rs dot grade. Yeah, okay, so we don't want this. We just want grade text equals. And the same goes for this. Grade text equals. So we don't need this. Don't need this. I think that's okay. And then we want to put the grade text into this. There it is. You have to zoom in to get real grades. 1 in 40. Can I do it by hand? Hey, that looks perfect. So now we have dynamic grading. How sweet is that? It also kind of makes you realize, like, I don't know, if you're a landscape architect, you sort of obsess over like grades between 1 and 40 and 1 and 100, but you kind of realize like how slight those grades are in reality. You kind of get hung up on variances that, you know, in reality are so small. But yeah, that's the difference between 1 and 40. That's quite nice, actually. It's like an educational tool. Yeah, I'm super stoked about that. Let's get rid of all these points. Let's create a walkway at 1 and 30. Yep. 1 and 30. Sweet. Let's just turn off all of these snaps. Yeah, nice. Ah, that's so sweet. That's going to be so useful for me. Yes. That was a lot harder than it probably should have been. So the only other thing we need to check, and it doesn't seem like I need a 0 division error thing. It just, yeah, it's just catching it itself, you see. It just doesn't pop up at all if that happens. So Rhino's got some internal catches there. Although it would be nice if it still displayed and didn't just pop away from existence. That's a little annoying. Is there anything I can do to still display things? Probably is. Like I could do yeah, I think there is. I'll probably need a separate bit of logic that basically creates a different animation if there's no grade, because that's sort of confusing. Like it not appearing and then appearing. Okay, but let's just check that this works in Imperial. I always forget, and then I release it, and it's like, doesn't work in other. Oop. Yep. It seems so. It's using percentages. That seems fine. Let's go back to meters. Just create another walkway. Okay, so the issue we have now is that it disappears. Like when there's a 0 division error, it disappears. And that's most likely some kind of internal error catching thing. So to handle that, we just need to create a little bit of some logic that basically catches when there's a zero division error, and just displays something different. So I'm thinking that it displays the circle and the blue line, and that's it. With a tag that says no grade. Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna take a break just to refresh, but I'll be back in a second. Thank you. And we're back. So, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, a lot of coding is just debugging, and just like working through problems, which is a bit like a Sudoku or something like that, you know. But the issue we have now is that that's great. We have that little coding bubble, little grading bubble. But it's not great that it just disappears. Hello. So we just need to help this along and see if we can just make this a little bit cleaner. So we need a whole different logical track here. So we have to be like, if grade is equal to 0, then we want to so we want to draw the circle. We want to draw line 1. And we want to draw the dot. Except this is going to say, yep. That was weird. This is going to say, what's it going to say? No grade. We'll just put that there for now. And then we want to go else, and then put this in the else thing. So let's just try that. No. That's not working. It's because that's still dividing by 0. Okay. So that actually this if statement needs to happen before we divide by 0. So we can't use this logic because that calculation's not happened yet, and we can't let it happen. So if rise equals 0 and run equals 0, we haven't divided by 0 yet. We're just preempting it. Then we run this code, and then this code needs to exist in the else So else. There we go. So what this is doing is it's preempting a division by 0. So in Python, equals equals means a value is equal to another value. Like it's a check if one value isn't equal to another. You might be like, well, that is the thing, but that's actually saying to apply this value to this variable. It's not a check for equality. Equality? Equals equals is. And opposite that, well, this automatically formats it into this more readable thing, but exclamation mark and then equals means it's not equal to. Okay, so I just made myself a coffee because I'm flagging a bit, but I want to I want to get this last bit done because I want to actually submit a update to the tools tonight. Okay. It's still not working. Int rise print run. Doesn't seem to have. They seem to be empty variables. Print run. Maybe square root doesn't print anything because it's just 0. Enter rise. How do I check for an empty? Because it's got nothing. I'm gonna actually have to look that up. Python, how to check for empty? Empty variable? Ah, right. I can use a boolean. So if not, which one's better to use? If not rise, Still not working. Foo. No, so it's not even getting into that. Something else we can check. You just want to check like the z value of the current point, really. So print current point dot z. Why is that not printing anything at all? Seems to be a larger problem. Print current point. Yeah. So here it's fine. It is actually getting through. Print current point. I get the current point at the z value of 0. But something's happening in the top end of this code to stop the code running. And what's irritating about this event argument is that it's catching the errors without printing any error message. So I have to play a little bit of detective of what is actually going on. So basically we just have to go through manually and unfortunately find where it's failing. I mean, maybe, yeah. If it's, no, basically, let's just bloody, if it's failing up here because it's dividing by 0 at some point, let's just catch it before that ever happens. So if current point dot z is equal to 0, what lines do we need? We need line 1. We need circle. We need the midpoint. This is getting messy, I apologize, but just Woo! Just unindent this. Okay, well, it's still not working. But it is printing foo. Which is great. That is actually a progress. So sorry I kind of stopped talking there, but basically what I did is I just encapsulated the rest of the event in an else statement. So I'm just capturing whether the current point is at 0, and if it is, run this. Don't do any kind of logic. But if it is above 0, z, then do this. Is that's gonna be? Is that gonna be weird? No, that's fine. Probably fine. So why isn't it working? So it is printing foo, so it is capturing, it is going into this stream of information here. So so it's, yeah, okay, so that needs, circle needs line 3. Let's just, for the sake of simplicity, let's just paste that stuff in there and see if that works. Hey, look at that. Now it doesn't disappear. It just says no grade. All right, that's a bit more user-friendly. Right. So we don't need to have that check there anymore. So basically what this is doing is it's just asking, is the z value of the point 3D object 0? If it is, run this code, and that just avoids it ever dividing by 0, which kind of is going to obviously cause errors, which in this case was just causing it to not display anything. And then if it is above 0, run this logic and actually calculate the grade. So that just means that we won't. Let's just check one other thing. It is disappearing there. Let's. Nope, seems fine. No grade. Okay. Cool. Let's just format. What format am I using? It seems to be working. Okay, so we just need to clean up some things now. So we just need to get rid of the stuff that was no longer needed. Yeah, we don't need that. And then all of this runs perfectly fine. Great. Well, that was actually a lot harder than I was thinking it was going to be. I don't know if I need any error handling, because Rhino's really handling that already within the event function. So I think that's okay for now. I'll just keep an eye on it. But yeah, that seems. Let's change that to 22. Update. Thomas shipment on. Ah, July's already ended. Crazy. Yeah, that seems really good. That seems like it does everything I wanted it to do. Let's just check in Imperial one more time. That it is okay. No grade. Yep. Perfect.
Come on.
All right. That's about it. I'll probably call that a day. So I'm gonna submit a new. Let's just commit that to the old GitHub. What changes did I make? Calc grade. Grade curve. Oh yeah, okay. Great, let's stage those. Just, I don't know, feature updates and bug fixes. Commit. Okay. What is on my to-do list? So grade cap. Yeah, okay. That's done. That's done. Yeah, I think that's it for this week. I actually made it through, which I'm very surprised about. Some days are better than others, but today was a good day. So I'll submit that as a new update tonight to the LineDark tools. That'll be great. Plenty more to do. There's always more to do, but that calc grade thing, this is going to be super handy. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week, probably, hopefully. Yeah, see you next time.